Have you ever wondered why some people seem to be in the right place at the right time, while others seem to miss every opportunity, even though they work just as hard? It is not by chance, and it is not simply called luck. It is the ability to discern seasons, to see what others ignore, and to act when the universe whispers instead of waiting for it to shout. Timing is the great divider between those who experience breakthrough and those who keep living in circles. There are certain dates and seasons in life that carry more weight than others. They are not ordinary days. They are moments of alignment when what has been building unseen finally begins to reveal itself. If you are able to see this before the window closes, then you are already blessed, because most people walk past opportunity while praying for a miracle. The days leading up to September 25, 2025 are not random. They represent a shift, a preparation, a call to awareness. To see this moment clearly is to recognize that heaven has scheduled something, and to miss it is to live blind to what was meant for you. Awareness is what separates the chosen from the average. The average person thinks opportunities are accidents. They believe breakthroughs come when you simply stumble into them. But awareness tells you that breakthroughs are prepared for, that the future is not created when you arrive there. It is created by what you choose today. The one who is aware sees the signs that others dismiss. They recognize that whispers of destiny rarely come with fireworks. They come quietly, through conviction, through nudges, through repeated patterns that others call coincidence but you know are clues. There is always danger in ignoring the inner signals. When you feel a push to prepare, when you sense a shift in the atmosphere, when you know in your spirit that something is stirring, if you silence that voice, you silence your own future. Too many people pray for answers while dismissing the answers that already came. They say they want change, but continue living exactly as they did before. They ask for more, but do not make room for it. The universe does not reward negligence, it rewards response. If you see this before September 25th, 2025, it is not just information, it is a summons to act. Have you noticed how many people live their lives waiting for the perfect moment, not realizing that the moment is already here? Timing is one of the greatest mysteries of life. There are windows that open, not by our own power, but by the alignment of heaven and earth. These moments are not ordinary, they are divine invitations. When you recognize them, you step into a flow that accelerates everything. When you ignore them, you delay what was meant to be released. To see and understand a critical season before it fully arrives is one of the greatest blessings you could ever have. Life does not give everyone the same opportunities at the same time. Some seasons are heavier with meaning than others. There are moments when what you do carries multiplied weight. A decision you make in those moments can push you years ahead, and hesitation in those same moments can set you years behind. This is why awareness is so crucial. To see what others cannot see, to perceive the invisible shift, is not just perception, it is the beginning of transformation. The ones who walk in destiny are the ones who discern when the time has come. Awareness begins with sensitivity. Too often people ignore the gentle nudges that come to their spirit. They feel the stirring, the unusual restlessness, the repeated reminders in conversations, in books, in encounters, but they dismiss it as coincidence. There is no such thing as coincidence in the realm of destiny. Patterns are messages, signals sent to wake you up. When you learn to pay attention to these signals, you begin to understand that time itself is speaking to you. Time is not silent, it is full of instruction, but only the attentive can hear it. This is why seeing before others see is such a privilege. It means you have been chosen to prepare. Preparation is always the proof that you honor the moment. Think of a farmer who knows the rain is coming. The one who sees the signs does not wait until the clouds burst to plant seeds. They till the soil, they make room, they position themselves. By the time the rain falls, They are ready to receive what others will miss. If you see the season before it comes, it is because you are meant to prepare for what others will only recognize when it is too late. The tragedy of life is not that opportunities never come, but that people are too distracted to recognize them. Distraction blinds you. It makes you busy but not fruitful, active but not effective. The enemy of purpose is not always failure. Sometimes it is noise. Too many voices, too many demands, too much clutter in the mind. When you live distracted, you walk past doors that were open, you overlook signals that were obvious, and you forfeit moments that were designed to elevate you. This is why awareness requires stillness, the ability to pause and listen, the discipline to clear the noise, so that the whisper of destiny is not drowned out. There are also consequences to ignoring the season. When you dismiss timing, you do not remain in the same place. You move backward. What was meant to propel you forward becomes a weight of regret. Regret is the heavy knowledge that you saw something but did not act. It is not just disappointment. It is the echo of missed destiny. The pain of regret is sharper than the pain of failure, because failure teaches, but regret haunts. Failure says, "At least you tried." Regret says you ignored the moment. That is why awareness is more than privilege, it is responsibility. To see before September 25, 2025 is to be given notice, to be told that a window is opening. What you do with that awareness determines everything. Some will hear it and shrug it off. Some will wait for proof. But those who recognize the call will prepare in silence, adjust their priorities, clear their distractions, and align themselves with what is about to be released. They will treat the season with the seriousness it deserves, because they understand that when heaven schedules something, ignoring it is the same as rejecting it. Awareness without action is wasted vision, but awareness with preparation is the key to acceleration. Certain dates and seasons are not random. They carry weight beyond the ordinary. History is filled with examples of appointed times when shifts occurred that altered the direction of nations, families, and individual lives. These are not merely days on a calendar, but markers of alignment, moments when what has been forming in the unseen is ready to break into the visible. To treat them as ordinary is to miss the significance of what they were designed to bring. The universe does not waste energy. When a moment carries weight, it is because something larger than you is in motion. Every person has seasons where the invisible hand of purpose is arranging circumstances to create an opening. These openings are not guaranteed to remain forever. They are opportunities that demand recognition and response. If you look carefully, you will notice that some days seem heavier than others, as though they are pregnant with meaning. On such days, even small decisions ripple with larger consequences. What you say, what you choose, what you refuse, all have multiplied impact. That is why these moments cannot be ignored. They are rare intersections where destiny leans closer to earth. When the atmosphere is charged with significance, the wise pay attention. They do not ask if the season matters, they ask how they must position themselves to benefit from it. They understand that divine timing is not about convenience, but about obedience. It may not fit your schedule, it may not align with your comfort, but it will always align with your calling. Those who respond to these critical dates step into a flow that carries them further than effort alone could take them. They are lifted because they honored the time. The weight of certain days is also tied to cycles. Life operates in patterns, and what you do in one cycle determines what you experience in the next. When a cycle closes and a new one begins, everything shifts. Some people repeat old patterns because they failed to honor the last cycle. Others rise into new dimensions because they responded rightly when the opportunity came. These cycles are like doors that open for a moment and then close, and only those who walk through them in time carry the benefits into the future. Moments of alignment demand courage. They often require you to make choices that seem unreasonable to those who cannot sense the shift. You may be called to let go of something familiar, to step into something uncertain, to trust a direction that does not yet make sense. The weight of the season confirms that hesitation is costly. Delay in ordinary times may not matter much, but delay in appointed times can change the trajectory of your entire life. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to act even when you are uncertain, because you recognize the importance of the moment. These significant dates also serve as tests of focus. They ask you, what do you value most? Do you cling to distraction, or do you prioritize destiny? Do you recognize the call, or do you drown it out with noise? What you give your attention to in these moments reveals whether you are truly ready for what is about to be released. Focus is the bridge between revelation and manifestation. Without focus, even the most powerful season will pass you by unnoticed. To honor a critical season is to align yourself with heaven's timing. It is to say with your actions, not just your words, that you are ready. It is to clear space in your life, to sharpen your vision, to set aside excuses, and to respond with faith. When you treat significant dates lightly, you weaken their impact. But when you treat them with reverence, they become turning points that alter your entire journey. Some people spend their whole lives waiting for breakthrough, when in truth breakthrough was scheduled, but they ignored the date. The difference between those who rise and those who remain is often nothing more than how they responded to the weight of a season. Awareness is the difference between living by accident and living by intention. Most people stumble through life reacting to what happens around them, never realizing that life is always speaking, always leaving signs, always pointing toward alignment. Awareness is the discipline of paying attention to what others ignore, of training your eyes to see beyond the surface, and your spirit to sense what is invisible. When you become aware, you discover that nothing is truly ordinary. Every encounter, every delay, every prompting carries meaning. Awareness does not come automatically. It is cultivated. It begins when you decide to live awake instead of drifting through time asleep. To be aware is to realize that your life is not random. The events you experience, the people you meet, and the opportunities that appear are not accidents. They are pieces of a larger design. The unaware person dismisses these moments, calling them coincidences, but the one who is awake recognizes them as divine connections. When you start to live with this understanding, your perception sharpens. You notice patterns that repeat. You sense when doors are opening and when they are closing. You feel when the atmosphere around you has shifted, even before the evidence appears. This is not superstition, it is sensitivity. Awareness is also about listening. The universe does not shout, it whispers. Most people miss destiny not because it was hidden, but because it came quietly. A thought that returns again and again, a dream that refuses to fade, a phrase you keep hearing in different places. These are not meaningless. They are signs trying to get your attention. To live aware means you slow down enough to notice these whispers. You resist the urge to drown them out with noise or business. You give them space, and in that space, clarity is born. The gift of awareness is that it gives you an advantage. When others are surprised by sudden change, you are already prepared. When others are scrambling, you are steady because you saw it coming. Think of a sailor who knows how to read the wind and the waves. While the untrained eye sees only water, the sailor sees direction, speed, and opportunity. Awareness gives you that same advantage in life. You can sense when it is time to push forward and when it is time to wait, when to invest and when to withdraw, when to speak and when to remain silent. Awareness separates the prepared from the unprepared. Life does not always give second chances in the same form. When a door opens and you are not ready, it does not always wait. But the one who has cultivated awareness is rarely caught off guard. They are not perfect, but they are present. They live with their eyes open, their ears tuned, their heart attentive. They may not know every detail of what is coming, but they sense enough to posture themselves correctly. Preparation begins with awareness because you cannot get ready for what you refuse to see. The tragedy of ignoring awareness is that it leads to unnecessary struggle. People spend years asking for opportunities that already passed them by, praying for blessings that were delivered but never received, waiting for a breakthrough that was available but overlooked. Awareness saves you from this cycle. It teaches you to act when the moment calls, to recognize when the window is open, and to step forward before it closes. Without awareness, you will keep missing what is right in front of you. With awareness, you begin to gather the rewards that others leave untouched. There is a responsibility that comes with awareness. Once you see, you cannot unsee. Once you know, you are accountable for what you do with that knowledge. This is why awareness is not simply a gift, it is also a test. It demands that you act with wisdom, that you steward the insight you've been given. To ignore it is to choose blindness, and blindness in a critical season is costly. But to embrace awareness is to position yourself for acceleration, because you are no longer stumbling through time, you are walking with vision. There is a danger in silencing the inner nudges that come to guide you. Life is full of quiet signals, whispers that try to direct your steps, gentle warnings that attempt to protect you from unnecessary pain, and impressions that urge you toward opportunities. These signals rarely come with noise or force. They are subtle, almost fragile, and because of that, many people dismiss them. They explain them away as imagination, emotion, or coincidence. Yet those who learn to honor these inner promptings discover that they are often the difference between missing a season and stepping into it. The inner voice is not random. It is the compass placed within you to align your actions with your purpose. When you ignore it, you do not simply reject a feeling, you reject guidance. Every ignored nudge carries consequences because it was meant to redirect or prepare you. How many people have looked back on their lives and said, "I knew I shouldn't have done that," or "something told me to wait." That something was not just a fleeting thought, it was a warning that, if heeded, could have saved years of delay or regret. The tragedy is that the more you ignore these impressions, the less you hear them. The heart becomes dull, the ears grow heavy, and the clarity that once seemed sharp becomes faint. Sensitivity is like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it grows. But the more you neglect it, the weaker it becomes. People do not suddenly lose discernment. They lose it gradually by repeatedly silencing the voice that was trying to guide them. Each dismissal makes it easier to dismiss the next, until eventually they live blind to the very signs that were placed to protect them. Ignoring signals also creates unnecessary detours. When you choose not to listen, you are forced to learn through pain what you could have learned through guidance. Instead of walking a straight path, you wander in circles, fighting battles that could have been avoided and carrying burdens that were never meant for you. Some of the hardest seasons in life are not the result of enemies or external forces, but of our own refusal to listen when we were being warned. The price of ignoring the whisper is always higher than the inconvenience of obeying it. Signals are not always about danger. Sometimes they are about opportunity, a nudge to make a call, a sense to step out, an idea that keeps returning. These are not accidents. They are doors waiting to be opened. When you dismiss them, you may miss what was designed to elevate you. Opportunity often comes disguised as small impulses. Those who succeed are not necessarily the most talented, but the most responsive. They move when others hesitate. They trust the whisper enough to act. And in doing so, they discover paths that others overlook. Listening to the inner voice requires humility. It means admitting that you do not know everything, that logic is not always enough, and that control is sometimes an illusion. Many people miss destiny because they want certainty before they move. But signals rarely provide certainty. They provide direction. Certainty comes later, once you have walked far enough to see what the whisper was pointing to all along. Obedience often precedes understanding, and only those willing to trust the nudge ever experience the clarity that follows. Every whisper is an invitation to alignment. It is a chance to bring your steps closer to purpose, to avoid traps, and to embrace opportunities. Ignoring them not only delays destiny, but hardens the soul, making it harder to hear the next instruction. This is why it is so important to treat the signals with seriousness. They are not interruptions to your life, they are the very keys to it. To ignore them is to walk blind in a season that requires vision. To honor them is to prove that you value what has been entrusted to you. Decisions shape the course of destiny more than wishes or intentions ever could. Life is built on the choices you make, and while some may seem small at the moment, their impact stretches far beyond what you can immediately see. Every choice plants a seed, and every seed produces fruit in time. The weight of certain seasons is that the decisions made within them carry multiplied consequences. One right decision can set you years ahead, and one wrong decision can keep you wandering in circles, longing for breakthroughs that were postponed by hesitation or fear. Critical windows of time are not just for reflection, they demand action. There are moments when delaying a choice is as destructive as making the wrong choice. Hesitation may feel safe, but in seasons of alignment, hesitation is costly. The open door will not remain open indefinitely. The opportunity will not wait forever. Time itself moves forward, and when you fail to act, it leaves you behind. Too many people are paralyzed by the need for perfect conditions, forgetting that perfection never arrives. The conditions will rarely feel ideal, but it is not comfort that determines the moment, it is calling. Decisions in these seasons are not always about dramatic shifts. Sometimes they are about obedience in small things. Choosing to let go of a toxic relationship, deciding to invest in your growth, setting aside destructive habits, or simply aligning your schedule with what you know is important. These choices may not look monumental at first, but they create ripples that transform your entire life. The weight of destiny is often carried in decisions that others overlook. Great change is born in small acts of faithfulness. The danger of indecision is that it breeds stagnation. When you refuse to choose, you remain stuck, watching others move forward while you stay where you are. Life does not reward indecision. Doors close, opportunities shift to those who are willing to act, and regret begins to take root. Regret is not only the pain of failure, but the pain of never trying. It whispers in the back of your mind, reminding you of what could have been if only you had acted when the moment called for it. This is why indecision is one of the most subtle enemies of destiny. It does not feel destructive at first, but its consequences grow heavier with time. There is also power in decisive action. When you choose with clarity, you release momentum. Momentum attracts resources, people, and opportunities that were waiting for movement. The universe favors the decisive because their actions demonstrate faith. Even if the path is uncertain, the very act of moving signals readiness. Movement draws provision. Action invites clarity. Steps create paths where none seem to exist before. You cannot wait to have every answer before you move. Many answers are hidden until you take the first step. Fear often hides behind indecision. People convince themselves they are waiting for confirmation when in truth they are avoiding risk. But every destiny requires risk. You cannot step into the unknown without leaving behind what is familiar. Playing safe has never birthed greatness. Those who fulfill their purpose are not those who never felt fear, but those who refused to let fear control their choices. They moved anyway, trusting that clarity would follow obedience. Every season carries decisions, but not every season carries the same weight. Some seasons are neutral, but others are decisive. What you choose in them sets the tone for years to come. If you sense that you are in such a season, you cannot afford to be passive. Every delay, every excuse, every refusal to act becomes a thief of time. But every step of obedience, every bold decision, every act of faith becomes a bridge that carries you closer to the life you were meant to live. Overflow is not the result of chance, but of alignment. When your life comes into order with the rhythms of purpose, what once seemed impossible begins to unfold with ease. Blessings are not randomly distributed. They flow toward structure, toward discipline, toward readiness. Many people pray for increase but live in disorder, and disorder cannot hold abundance. When the vessel is broken, the oil leaks. When the container is unprepared, the rain washes away what should have been stored. The principle is simple. When alignment is in place, overflow follows naturally. Alignment means more than agreement in words. It requires your thoughts, your actions, and your spirit to move in the same direction. Too often there is division within a person, believing one thing, speaking another, and living another still. This disunity weakens your ability to attract what was meant for you. True alignment brings agreement in every dimension of your being. You think in harmony with your convictions, you speak in harmony with your expectations, and you act in harmony with what you believe. That harmony becomes a magnet for overflow because abundance cannot flow into confusion. Preparation is the silent partner of alignment. A farmer who expects harvest must till the soil long before the rain arrives. If the ground is not ready, the rain cannot benefit it. The same principle governs life. You cannot expect overflow if your life is cluttered with distractions, unresolved conflicts, and misplaced priorities. The universe does not waste provision on unprepared ground. When you create order, when you clear space, when you discipline your habits, you prove that you are ready to carry more. Overflow comes to those who have prepared room for it. When you step into alignment, you move from laboring for addition to receiving multiplication. Addition is the slow accumulation of effort and results, but multiplication is acceleration beyond effort. It is when what you touch expands beyond your ability to calculate, when your influence reaches further than your plans, when your resources outgrow your expectations. This shift does not happen by chance. It happens when you are aligned with the current of destiny. You are no longer forcing doors open. They begin to open on their own. What was once a struggle becomes natural flow because you are moving with time instead of against it. Peace is one of the greatest signs of alignment. When you are properly positioned, you do not have to strive endlessly to prove yourself. You no longer feel the constant pressure to control everything because you trust the timing of what is unfolding. Even in difficulty, you carry a quiet assurance that things are working together for your good. This peace is not laziness, it is confidence. It frees you to act boldly because you know the ground under your feet is steady. Peace becomes evidence that you are standing where you belong. But alignment is not passive, it is maintained through discipline. It requires guarding your focus, saying no to distractions, and refusing to compromise your values for temporary comfort. Discipline is the framework that holds overflow in place. Without it, what was given can be squandered. Abundance without discipline becomes waste. Opportunity without alignment becomes chaos. The universe is generous, but it does not entrust overflow to carelessness. It releases it to those who have proven that they can handle it. Alignment also expands your influence. When you are in order, what you carry begins to spill over into the lives of others. Your relationships strengthen, your words carry weight, your actions inspire. You do not just receive enough for yourself, you carry more than enough, and that excess blesses those connected to you. Overflow was never meant to stop with you, it was meant to pass through you. This is the ultimate evidence of alignment, that what you carry multiplies beyond your own life and becomes a source of blessing to many. Every destiny is tested before it is trusted with fulfillment. The greatest breakthroughs do not arrive in moments of ease, but in moments when the weight of waiting presses hardest on your spirit. The delay is never meant to break you, but to refine you, to measure your resilience, to see if your character can carry the promise you are asking for. Waiting seasons are never wasted seasons when you understand their purpose. They stretch you, mold you, and reveal the depth of your faith. What you do while you wait often determines how well you will handle what comes after. Patience is not inactivity, it is strength under control. It is the ability to keep moving forward with consistency, even when results are not immediately visible. Many people confuse waiting with standing still, but true waiting is active. It is choosing to build when there is no applause, to prepare when there is no audience, to pray when there is no visible answer. It is discipline in secret that qualifies you for reward in public. If you cannot be trusted with perseverance when no one sees you, you will not be able to carry abundance when everyone does. Delay often exposes motives. Some seek breakthroughs not because they are ready to serve, but because they want validation or comfort. When the waiting is longer than expected, selfish motives rise to the surface. This is why waiting is such a powerful tool. It separates those who only desire convenience from those who are committed to purpose. When your heart remains steady, when you can keep your focus through long nights and unanswered prayers, you prove that you are ready not just for the blessing, but for the responsibility it carries. Endurance also reshapes perspective. As time stretches, you learn to see beyond immediate gratification. You begin to appreciate the process rather than just the outcome. You start to notice growth in your own character, strength in your own spirit, wisdom in your own decisions. What once frustrated you becomes the very thing that deepens you. Waiting enlarges your vision. It helps you see that what you are becoming is as important as what you are receiving. The gift of delay is the transformation it creates within you. Those who give up in the middle of waiting often miss the fact that the finish line was closer than they realized. Many surrender at the edge of breakthrough because the weight of the wait blinded them to the nearness of fulfillment. The moment of greatest pressure is often the moment just before release. This is why perseverance is vital. It keeps you moving when everything in you wants to stop. It holds you steady when your emotions try to pull you into despair. Endurance whispers that the process is not punishment, it is preparation. Consistency in waiting seasons is also a demonstration of faith. Faith is not proven when everything aligns easily. It is proven when nothing makes sense and yet you keep believing. To continue building in silence, to continue sowing in dryness, to continue trusting in uncertainty, that is the kind of faith that attracts abundance. It proves you are not depending on circumstances but on conviction. Such faith cannot be shaken by delay because it was never built on timing, it was built on trust. The reward of endurance is not only the fulfillment of promises, but the strength to sustain them. Many people receive breakthroughs only to lose them because they lacked the resilience that waiting seasons were meant to build. But when you have endured the process, you emerge not only with the blessing but with the capacity to protect it, manage it, and multiply it. Waiting seasons may be uncomfortable, but they forge the kind of character that can stand strong when the weight of abundance arrives. Vision is the language of destiny, the ability to see beyond what is present into what is possible. Without vision, life becomes a cycle of repetition, where each day mirrors the one before it, and opportunities slip by unnoticed. Vision is not about eyesight, it is about insight. It is the inner picture of what your life is meant to become, the map that guides you when the road ahead is not yet built. When vision is absent, distractions multiply, confusion sets in, and people settle for survival instead of pursuing significance. Clarity of vision gives power to decision-making. It is easier to say no to distractions when you have a clear yes in front of you. Vision eliminates the unnecessary by revealing what truly matters. It pulls you forward even when circumstances resist you. It whispers to you in the quiet moments, reminding you of what you were created to achieve. This is why vision is more than a dream, it is an assignment. Dreams inspire you, but vision directs you. Dreams can be forgotten, but vision continues to call until you answer. Those who carry vision understand that it often begins small, like a seed. It may not look like much in the beginning, but within it is the potential to transform nations, industries, and generations. The mistake many make is despising the small beginnings, thinking that vision should already look like its final form. But every great outcome begins with unseen roots growing in hidden places. Patience is required to nurture vision until it becomes reality. The seed stage is where discipline, sacrifice, and resilience are tested, because vision must be proven before it is revealed. Vision also demands responsibility. It is not enough to see what could be, you must also act on what you see. Too many treat vision as inspiration alone, writing it down but never aligning their daily actions with it. A vision unaccompanied by effort becomes frustration. Every step you take in alignment with vision adds substance to what was once only an image in your mind. The power of vision is released not in imagining it, but in living it. When vision is clear, it also creates endurance. Challenges lose their power to break you when you know where you are headed. Hardships become temporary when you carry an eternal picture of purpose in your heart. Vision gives meaning to the struggle, reminding you that the pain of the present is shaping the strength needed for the future. With vision, you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What is this preparing me for?" That shift in perspective allows you to move forward with hope instead of despair. Vision connects you to provision. The universe responds to clarity by aligning resources, people, and opportunities with what you are building. Provision always follows purpose. Those who live without vision chase after provision and often come up empty, but those who pursue vision attract provision because they are moving in alignment with destiny. It is not enough to want resources, you must be pursuing something worthy of them. Resources are never wasted on confusion, they are drawn to clarity. A life guided by vision becomes a life of impact. Your influence stretches beyond your personal needs and begins to touch the lives of others. Vision never serves the visionary alone, it multiplies into communities, families, and future generations. What you see and pursue today becomes the inheritance for those who come after you. That is why vision is sacred. It is bigger than you. It is a trust, something placed in your heart, not only to guide your life, but to shape the world around you. Vision is the proof that your life was never meant to end with you, but to overflow into the lives of many.